Hello everyone, this is Chris Peterson again, doing another live Blitz game here. It's been a while since I made a video because I moved and got a new job started, and I've just been pretty busy the last however long it's been, month or 2 months or so, and this looks like it's going to be a Sicilian canal attack, it's called. Queen takes is pretty essential because the knight belongs on c6, and so he's going for a Maroczy-Bind type setup, which is okay. Against the Maroczy-Bind type setup, you play e6 and a6, and play for either b5 or d5. And a lot of times, because he has both of these pawns here, d5 is pretty difficult to get in. However, for a trade-off, I do have good access to the d4 square if I ever have a chance to get there. So here I'm going to play a6 to prevent the knight from coming to b4 to harass my d6 pawn. And then after bishop e7 castles, the game should be fairly even for us both here. Just castles. And I think after knight e5, I'm threatening c4, and I'll be able to get in d5 now, I believe. D5, pawn takes d5, pawn takes d5, pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes, and now his knight's in a pin on his queen, which would be good. However, d5, e takes d5, e takes d5, he can play knight f5 immediately, and then after bishop f8, I might be losing my d-pawn here. Oh, I guess my connection got somewhat interrupted there. That's okay, I successfully got reconnected. Oh wow, my time's pretty low already. So instead of d5 right away, maybe I'll just play rook a to c8. And then I can prepare it with moves like bishop f8. And now, after bishop f8, I think I'm going to get d5 in now. Unless he can prevent it again. D5, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes, knight takes, queen takes, rook takes, rook takes. And then he can play knight f5, queen takes queen, rook takes, or whatever. Probably rook takes to prevent rook c2. And I think I've successfully opened up the position, which is kind of what I need to do in a Maroczy-Bind type setup. So d5 I think is very important here. Maroczy-Binds are pretty difficult to play, but once you get a chance to equalize with d5 or b5, it becomes difficult for both sides. Oh, I guess he couldn't play knight f5 before because my queen was on it, but miscalculation, but I think I still played it somewhat accurately because he could have played c takes pawn, and then after pawn takes, then knight f5. So I think I'm okay there. This guy's name is Chow Chow, I guess. Chow, Italian for bye, of course. Maybe hello too, I don't really know. And then Chow as in like dog chow, so that's pretty funny. So after queen takes, he has no checks to win my queen here. You can trade rooks, of course, but again, he has no good discoveries on my queen, which is good. His rating is 1735, so I'm a little bit higher. I have played some games on here before I made this video, so my rating is a little bit higher than it was before in some of my other videos. He's from the US, so that's good. I'm not a fan of trading queens, and I prefer to avoid it if I can. But here I think it would be an equal ending, so I don't think it would be such a bad trade for me. Of course, probably rook takes, I would imagine. I can't see him fearing a rook c1 check. That's what I thought. Then maybe I can play bishop b4, gain a tempo. Okay, bishop b4, rook d5. And my knight is a little weary here. It's got no good squares. Maybe back to c6, but that's kind of a... I don't want his knight to come into... or his rook to come down to d7. So if rook d5, maybe f6, but then f4 is no good. So if I can give my knight a good square, that would be nice. Prevent rook d7. I can't play rook c7 because then rook d8 and I'm in that nasty pin. However, I could play maybe g6, knight d4, well, knight h6 check, yeah, king g7, then maybe knight g4, knight takes knight, pawn takes, and then rook c7. I think I'll go for that. One, it gives me space for my king. As long as I can prevent his bishop from coming to h6 or f6, I'll be okay. Did not expect that move entirely. Knight here would not be... I can't trade the bishop for the knight, so I'm going to go ahead and play rook c7 here. Knight e8 would be a pretty good move, pretty decent move here. I'm not too worried about trading my knight out for the bishop here. It wouldn't be too scary for me. Knight e4 here, I think I just play f5, so that way his rook check does nothing. He could play a weird move like knight f5 maybe. Oh, that's okay, that's an interesting move. Let's see, rook c7, rook d8. Then what? He'll take my bishop. Rook d8. He could play knight takes bishop here and then king takes bishop. Not too worried about that. Maybe rook e2 here, then knight c6. Rook takes, rook, knight takes. Okay. I'm going to play f5 here. As long as I can keep his... If I keep my pawns on the dark squares and my rook on the second rank, I should be able to defend this position fairly easily. So there I got a check in. Not really a good check, but I'd like... Well, actually I win material here, don't I? If he guards the bishop, I take the rook. If he guards the rook, I take the rook and then take the bishop. So I win material here. So that was a terrible blunder by him. Rook e2, which is good. I'll be able to win. Instead of a hard equal ending, I have an easy winning ending. So he doesn't have any bishop checks to keep me out, so that's good. Now I'll just come in and pick off his pawns one by one. And it's pretty straightforward here. As long as I don't flag on time, I should be okay. And I think I'm just going to make it a whole lot easier and take his b pawn here. And now he can't take that because now this pawn's unstoppable. And there we go, that's the game. So I played it a little... I don't know necessarily if I played the opening too good. Maybe I'll put it in the Fritz and see what it says, but I think I played fairly solid. He kind of danced around with his knight, made it a little hard for me. But all in all, that was a pretty good game, except towards the end when he just hung his bishop. So, alright, that was fun.